Welcome to episode 31 of the Twig Snapper Podcast, first in-person episode. I'm here with Tristan Ashbrook of the Michigan Tech hockey team. We're in the presidential suite at the John McGinnis Student Ice Arena. So if you hear any background noise, there's a few guys on the ice, but I don't think it'll be too
No, it won't be much of a distraction at all.
We won't.
Hardly.
Before we dive into your hockey journey, how you got here, you guys had a couple exhibition games over the weekend. How'd they go?
Yeah, the outcome was obviously very good. A couple big wins.
Scoring a lot of goals.
Yeah, put the puck in the back of net a lot. Hopefully, a sign of things to come. It's been good. There's a lot of new faces on the team this year, and it seems like everybody's kind of getting on the same page early. So definitely a reason for the opportunistic.
Yeah, I noticed that Alex Nordstrom, local to the area, he got some ice time, at least in the Lake State game. I don't know if he did yesterday too.
Yeah, he did. Yep, he played quite a bit last night too. He was really strong out there. He's actually bounced around a little bit from forward to defense, so kind of doing it all. But I thought he had a really good game.
Yeah, kind of like Mitch Marner, going to put him on defense for the year.
Yeah, do it all.
All right, so you were born in Petoskey, but then you ended up moving to Manistique. When did that happen? How old were you?
I was super young, like not even a year old. My parents were living on the east side of the UP. Just went down to the lower Michigan hospital, and then my parents both got jobs in Manistique teaching. So
yeah, so you're pretty much a born Youper. You just weren't born.
Exactly, yeah, as close as you get.
So where did you play your most of your juniors? I noticed you played for the Marquette Electricians for a little bit, and then where'd you go from there?
Yep. So I played for the Electricians my sophomore year of high school, and then my junior and senior year I played for Omaha AAA, just a travel team. Ended up playing U18 out there, and then went to the Bismarck Bobcats of the North American League, and then finished with 2 years in Lincoln.
No high school hockey in Manistique when you were growing up, but
no.
You got a team now.
Yeah, I think they're kind of gaining some good traction there. I think they got maybe Munising,
Newberry, and Manistique. I think it's like a tri-city kind of deal. It looked like they had pretty good numbers last year.
Yep.
They obviously it's tough to just get a team and then get thrown into high school hockey. But
I watched them pretty closely because it's pretty cool. I never had a high school team when I was out there, so that's pretty good for the community there.
Yeah, definitely. So then, coming out of juniors, you ended up choosing RPI. How come? Did you have other offers on the board, or was that the big one that stuck out?
There was definitely some other options. I think what drew me to RPI was I like the facilities, I like the staff. Definitely took into consideration the education side of it as well. Maybe there's some other opportunities that didn't have the level of degree that I would have had the opportunity of out there. So that was important as well. But there's a lot of things I liked about it, and it just seemed to be the right fit at the time for sure.
Yeah. What conference do they play in?
ECAC. So that's consisted of all the Ivies they play through there, and then a mixed bag of other Eastern schools that are kind of same type.
So it's a pretty good competition playing Harvard and Yale and some of those other schools.
Yeah, definitely. I remember, my freshman year at RPI, I think Cornell was maybe ranked first just about all year, and then Harvard was up there, Clarkson was top 5. There's some good teams.
Yeah, and you played in, according to Elite Prospects, it's pretty accurate, but it said 34 games your freshman year?
Yeah, played in all the games freshman year.
You had a good amount of points, 9 goals, 4 assists. It's a pretty solid start for a freshman, good experience for moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it was a pretty solid year there for sure.
So then how come you decided to transfer to Tech?
Yeah, so really the main reason was because my sophomore year at RPI, there was a whole COVID thing at the end of that 2019-20 season, and then there was a lot of uncertainty of even whether RPI would be taking the ice in the fall. I trained hard all summer with the intentions of going back to school there, and then we pretty abruptly got notification that we just wouldn't be playing in the upcoming season. So when I found out that was the case, I had to evaluate kind of what would be best for my own career, and that was pretty much it. I enjoyed it up there, but they weren't playing it. So.
Right, you wanted to play. It's not going to do any good to sit.
Exactly.
It's just going to put your career back, farther back than what you want. Especially when you gain that much ground as a freshman, you don't want to take any steps back. You want to just keep pushing forward.
Exactly.
So then you got to MTU. Been here for a few years. What can you say so far? I mean, everything pretty good?
Yeah, everything's really good. I mean, I love it here. Like, I wouldn't have transferred if it weren't for that COVID year where we didn't play. But I obviously grew up in the UP, being a Tech and Northern fan, watching all the games. Lake State too. And so my brother-in-law played for Michigan Tech. My sister, went to Tech. That's how she met him. My parents both went to Tech. So it's like, this is kind of something I've always kind of wanted to do.
Yeah.
And I mean, we've had some really good years here, which has been a lot of fun. And I've loved it here.
Yeah, definitely. Were Northern or LSU on your radar when you're thinking about transferring?
Yeah, they were. For one reason or another, I ended up here. So I'm happy with this.
So you were the CCHA Forward of the Week last year, November 29th. What does something like that mean to you? Or do you just block it out? It's too much noise in the middle of the season.
It's a little bit of both. Like, you kind of got to take the, I don't know what you want to call it, the highs and the lows of the season in stride. That was obviously a pretty cool moment, helping out the team in a solid offensive way that weekend. Felt good to, contribute like that, put the puck in a few times. So it's nice to be recognized for that, but at the end of the day, it's not too big.
Right, you don't want to dwell on it.
Exactly.
You get the full of yourself, and that can affect your game.
Certainly.
So it also said in your Tech bio that you had 4 goals in a series against Ferris. Do you think there was something particular that allowed you to put the puck in the net against Ferris, or was it just like you were feeling it and you were just getting good opportunities?
Yeah, I don't know if there's anything that stuck out too different about that weekend. Yeah, maybe the opportunities were a little more plentiful, or whatever. They just came on good chances, and I don't know, it just happened to go in. I guess nothing too different.
Yeah, definitely. Just a good weekend.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
You had also had a 4-game point streak going from November 19th to 27th. During that streak, when you kept, the second game you had points, and the third game, were you thinking man, I really want to continue this streak as long as I could, or was that not really on your mind?
I don't think it's too much on your mind, kind of a point streak like that. You definitely notice when you feel like you're playing good hockey. That was a good stretch of the season. Not really too focused on the point streak, so to speak, but you can tell that the game's going good, and it's nice to get on the score sheet.
Yeah,
like that, so.
It's obviously got to feel pretty good when you're riding a little bit of a high like that. Game after game, you're like, I'm getting my job done, and getting the puck in the net, assists.
Yep. Yeah, for sure.
So this year, it's kind of weird looking at the conference rankings. They had you guys a little bit lower, but then I noticed that one of the top 20s had you guys at number 20, and Northern wasn't above you. So you can take all that stuff for what it's worth.
Yep.
But what do you think for you guys' expectations this year? What are your coaches saying? What's going on around the team?
Yeah, it's a great question. You can look at all the preseason rankings, and it's like, oh, these guys have us doing so good, and these guys have us kind of flying under the radar. I think there is a lot of new faces in the team this year. A lot of guys with not as much college hockey experience. So I think people are going to talk about that, and they're going to take that into consideration with their rankings and stuff. But I like the team we have this year. I think we're going to prove some people wrong and have some good swings, and we still have high expectations within the group. We still want to be playing for championships at the end of the season, and can't really look at the rankings too much. Just start off with a couple good exhibition games and hopefully, continue to keep striving forward.
Right, you don't want to get too focused on the rankings, get your, cloud your vision like, oh, we're this good.
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
you kind of get a chip on your shoulder maybe when you don't want one. And,
Yeah.
But yeah, you guys definitely have a good team coming back. And Pietro in goal, and then his brother on the ice, and yourself, and Cresty, and a whole bunch of other guys, Rylan Mosley, and guys that have been around this program for a few years. And then, like you said, the new guys, these exhibition games are huge.
Mm-hmm.
They can get a little bit of taste of college hockey without it actually affecting the books.
Yeah, certainly. Yeah.
It's still competitive. And
Yeah, we have I really like our group of guys who are coming back, really good, solid guys, good group, good players. Yeah, like you mentioned, Blake is going to be a huge part of the team. He was great last year in net, and I'm sure he'll be the same this year. But yeah, the new faces, they're playing well, I guess. In the exhibition so far, things are looking good, I guess.
Yeah. And then you guys have a new face on the coaching staff too. What's his Jordan?
Yeah, Jordy Murray.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, Jordy comes to us, I believe, from Notre Dame. I think he's in a assistant coach position there, and he's had a lot of experience with like skill work, skill development. He ran a pretty prominent, skill development stuff in Minnesota. It's a lot of good NHL and college and pro players, and he's already influenced us in that way, and he seems like a great fit for us.
Yeah, I think he played college hockey at Wisconsin too,
Yep.
so pretty good playing and coaching background.
Absolutely.
Definitely helps the program.
Yep.
What about you? Do you have any personal goals this year, like things that you want to hit yourself?
Yeah, I certainly do. It's tough to put a number on everything, I definitely want to contribute in a big way with the offensive side of things. I don't really have a number in mind for points and stuff. I don't think that's really something to get hung up on. But I definitely want to be contributing well in that fashion. Getting on the score sheet, playing 200 feet, being a guy to count on in all three zones. Last minute of the game, I'm trying to prove that's where I can help the team, whether we're up or down. And then, just try to keep getting better every day. And then after this season, try to put myself in a position where I do have some opportunities for pro hockey.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep.
You guys start your season away. Is it Ferris, your first game?
Yep.
And then the national development team,
Yep.
also away?
Yep.
What's that like, not getting home games the first weekend? I mean, a little bit tougher?
Yeah, it is a little bit. Just because, it's crazy, your home games, it's like probably one of the best, if not the best places, like, to play a home college hockey game. It's just awesome here, but I think last year we're on the road too for the first weekend at Wisconsin, and going on the road is tough to start with, but at the same time it's a good test. Like you're out of the you're out of Houghton, you're out of the comfort zone of all the preseason training and stuff. So you get on the road, maybe get a little more camaraderie with the guys, a little different experience, and then Ferris State this weekend. They seem like they'll be turning the corner on what was probably not what they expected for seasons in the past, not as successful. I think they'll be pretty solid this year, so we're all excited to get down there and play against the Ferris team.
Yeah, definitely. And then what's your first home series?
First home series against Bemidji State, right after we get back from this. So this weekend we're going to go to Ferris, and then I think we're actually flying from downstate, Plymouth, Detroit area, up to Alaska for another weekend road series, and then back for the Bemidji first home series.
So it'll be a pretty busy couple of weekends here,
Yeah.
a lot of travel,
Uh-huh.
which that's got to be. Yeah, what's the Alaska series like? Having to take that long trek up there and play. I mean, do you think that affects your playing, all the travel?
I think if you're not, staying on top of what you need to get done, it could affect it. Like, I think there's a bit of a time change, and you're gonna have a lot of bus legs or plane legs and stuff. So if you're not on top of that, I think it could get to you. But I think we're going in a couple days in advance, so there'll be plenty of time to get cold practices in, get the legs ready to go. But yeah, it's definitely a long trip. I've never even been up to Alaska, so.
Yeah. Do you guys get to do any sightseeing when you're up there, or is it all hockey?
I don't know, to be honest. This will be new for me. We got a couple days, so maybe we'll get to see some sightseeing.
Yeah.
I think we're going to Fairbanks, so I'm not really sure what's there yet, but
Yeah.
hopefully we get to see something cool.
Yeah, definitely. And then I also read in your MTU bio, your like personal, your hobbies, your likes, you like hunting, fishing, golfing.
Yep.
So what do you like to hunt?
I like to hunt for deer and then, birds too, like mostly grouse. I do some waterfowl, but I don't really have any decoys or anything, so it's like if somebody takes me out duck hunting, like I'll love to go, but mostly like deer, bow for them. Yeah.
Do you do most of your hunting back home, or do you do some hunting up here?
I do some over here. It gets pretty, obviously pretty busy with the hockey season and school, going to classes and stuff. But I try to get out a couple times. My grandpa lives not too far from here. He's got a decent chunk of property, so I get out there once in a while.
What about fishing? What's your
go-to style and
Yeah.
fish that I like? I like, probably mostly trout fishing in the rivers and stuff. It's a lot of fun when the salmon will come up from the big lake. Yeah, I haven't done too much fishing over here. I gotta grow my connections around here and find someone to take me to the honey hole around here.
Right, or somebody that's got a boat that can take you out.
Exactly.
That's always the thing. I've got a buddy who's got a boat, so it's kind of convenient. You can take us out different places that you can't reach just by going offshore.
Exactly.
Different things. Definitely a little bit of an advantage sometimes.
Yeah, big time. Big time.
And then what about golfing? Do you guys do a lot of golfing as a team?
Yeah, we do quite a bit. So for the summers up here, the track area, it's like kind of half of, I'm sure you're familiar, but for everybody else, it's half the summer is divided into like an accelerated semester, and the majority of the guys stay up here, take a class, and then we actually get super great rates, as students for tech. I'm pretty sure they completely cover the green fees. It's included with your, tech student activity fee. And yeah, we get out there quite a bit on Portage. You guys will try to get a scramble tournament going every once in a while. Yeah, it's pretty fun. It's a nice course over there.
Yeah, who's the best golfer on the team?
I mean, I hate to say it, but it's either Blake Piettel or myself. Blake is a stud on the golf course too, but I give him a run for his money once in a while.
Stud on the ice and on the golf course.
Exactly.
So that's what you like. That's all I got for topics to talk about. So thanks for joining me on this episode of the podcast.
Yeah.
Good luck with this season. It's going to be an exciting one, I think.
Yeah, thanks a lot for having me.
Yeah, of course.